All right, guys. Well, it is that time again for another YouTube live stream as I unfortunately killed this little mosquito who just came out of nowhere and he left, so he'll be biting me all night. There he is. Don't bother me while I'm working, Mr. Mosquito. But, guys, we're back. Before I start, smash the like, hit subscribe, do your boy that favor when I put in this hard work and I don't get rewarded with them sweet, sweet dopamine hits from those likes and subscribes. It makes me sad. So if you don't mind, just smash them. Just take that little hand and just smash. Give it a good smash. So we are fresh off of a binge of lots of videos, lots of stuff going on. And today, as I check my amazing footage and sound, it sounds absolutely amazing. And it's pretty unbelievable, actually, how great the H6 audio interface microphone sounds. But today was a glorious day. We were down at Demo Fest down where I live, where I can't tell you guys because I can't get doxxed. And also, I have this crazy there's this new setting on the Tahoe, which is the new Mac OS software, and there's this new hilarious setting called Edge Light, and it creates an edge light in your frame, and it's pretty wild because it looks like it helps, but it also creates this crazy reflection of my glasses, which I kind of like. I don't know if I like or not, but let's just rock with it for a little bit here. So today was a sweet day. We were down at the Demo Fest where I live, and I got to ride a couple boards, and I'm gonna have a nice, cool vlog coming out about that. So be on the lookout because a few things happened today. I rode the Hyperfreak Fire finally, which we'll do a quick tangent about that because it did go well, but my assumptions were correct. That even though it is definitely warmer, it is more restrictive. Now, not heaps, and compared to other wetsuits, it's still really amazing. But for a Techno Butter 3 fanboy like me, I think I'm gonna stick to the Techno Butter 3s for now. So if you still need the unrivaled flex of Techno Butter 3, I would stick with the blue inside TB3. If you want that extra warmth and you're never complaining about wetsuits being too tight and too crazy, then go with the new one, go with the Hyperfreak Fire. But I finally got to actually try it, and it's funny because I was at the O'Neill booth, and I was speaking to someone, and I was actually speaking to the guy who pretty much helped design these newer Hyperfreaks. Now I don't know how long he's been there. I should have grabbed his name, but he definitely was in charge because we started talking a little bit about the blueprint, and he was saying he designed the blueprint and he kind of learned a lot from that. And then the Hyperfreak Fire came after the blueprint. So he was saying the blueprint was sick, but it was rather heavy, which I do agree. And it was like kind of their first test at creating like a firewall within like a thicker suit that did have the TB3 in it, but it also had the firewall on a smooth skin. And the newer version had not a smooth skin, but they kind of went for like a thicker, essentially the Hyperfreak Fire inside, Tekka Butter 4. So once the Hyperfreak Fire came out, they kind of, weaseled out all those kinks that they had created with the newer Hyperfreaks. And then now the newest Hyperfreak Fire, I think, is actually the best version. So I did wear a 4.3 and it did feel great. But I think in the end, for me, TB3 Hyperfreak comp still reigns supreme. So that was the first thing that happened today. And before we get into the Hargle Ingleby board, I also rode a 5.8 Machado Kado, and that was pretty sweet because it's pretty much the same leaders as my mashup, and that board right away, if I had a magic wand, I would switch the 5.9 mashup right now with the 5.8 or 5.9 Machadocado, no questions asked. Switch it right away. I couldn't believe how amazing the 5.8 Machadocado rode. It felt like I was on a controllable skimboard that felt amazing. Now, 5.8 to me is like a little short where you're starting to get it's just so short that you're having to kind of really up your paddle things. But I have a little plus thing, engage with your audience. Hmm. Oh, okay. Because I recently like I said, I updated to Tahoe, and who knows what this is gonna do or not. make this better or worse. We'll see. But the 5.8 Machadocado was the bee's knees, was amazing. So it's like now I'm like, all right, well, we see the Reba Max back here. I already had a crazy, crazy week. And we'll even talk about that too. I know this is supposed to be about the Harley Ingleby board, but the goal here is to kind of, do a little catching up. I haven't been live in a while. Try to ramble here for a good little bit. And what I what I realize is like the Machado Kado, it's almost like he keeps refining his shapes over and over again. And by the time the Machado Kado came out, he had come a long way. And it's that board. People were telling me you could size it down, and I kind of being in my stubborn volume ways where I always want more volume. I think I finally have come back down to earth a little bit, and now I'm down to like go a little bit less in volume now. The lowest I really want to go is still around 34 and a half, like 34 to 35 is I don't really want to go lower than that unless it's in a wave pool. Then I couldn't go like 30, 31, 32. But this 34.4, I believe, 5.8 Machado Cado felt really, really good. It's kind of unbelievable. And when I put up the vlog of the demo day, I have a few clips of it, and I was super impressed with how good it rode. So I think the 5.9, which is actually 36 liters, could be like the perfect sweet spot. And my plan was to keep the mashup as kind of like a wave pool board and a good wave board. But now that I have the Reba Max and it's the Machado mashup, it's like now, okay, now the clock's ticking for you, buddy. So because the mashup is sick, but it ends up not being as much of a groveler and as much of a little wave board as I'd like. So it didn't get ridden as much for that Machado Kado today. It was not good waves at all. And that thing felt amazing at that 5.8 size, especially once you're up and riding. It right away clicked, felt like I'd ridden that board for 10 years. So yeah, I guess when people tell you you can go down a little bit in the Kado, they're right. You can. It's not the same as the mashup at all. It's not the same as the seaside either, where you can't really like go too crazy up or down. The seaside, you got to be careful about super oversizing it. But I think the Machado Kado, you can go a little more oversized, but if you do end up going a little undersized, you'll be okay. So the 5.8 Machado Kado was like super epic, and I couldn't really like believe how good the board felt. It felt really amazing, and I was like really stoked on just how it felt that I got to ride it. I actually tried to ride the what board was it? The new Firewire, the what is it called? The Neutrino. So I tried to ride the Neutrino, but unfortunately they only had like a super sized one. And I really for the conditions today, I wanted kind of like a more like normal dim board. So I didn't get to ride the Neutrino, but I really wanted to. So then I wanted to ride the Seaside, but there wasn't really like a good Seaside available. So when in doubt, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to the old days, Machado Cotto. And I wanted to try maybe like a smaller one, the 5.9 in particular. Didn't have it, they had the 5.8, and then I was like, all right, 5.8, let's go. And it felt phenomenal, felt super great. So really stoked, and the goal still is to get that thing, locked in the quiver eventually. I did just get the Reba Max locked in, and that board's been feeling amazing. So yeah, so first world problems. But we have someone in the chat. Mr. Wolfgang Weiss says he sometimes wonders, being from SoCal and serving here mostly, what type of quivers would I change if I lived in, say, Hawaii or Bali? What do you think? Oh, interesting question there. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like where you live extremely determines your quiver. I think the problem with a lot of surfers these days, they forget the waves are going to surf every day, and they get sucked into the marketing and people like me and these other people with the shiny new object or just this board that isn't suited for the waves they surf every day. So, like, especially where I live, it's a lot of, there is really good waves, but some of them are softer, slightly easier takeoffs. Well, oh my gosh, double me. Double trouble. Sorry guys, I had this thing chimed up and then it prematurely played. I'm not gonna make that joke. But we actually have a great segment with an OG Chris Grow, who I'm gonna play a little bit later. I might even do like a Chris Grow explains video because he did a good job of explaining this Harley board to me. But yeah, Mr. Wolfgang, like I think you need most people like don't they blow it and they don't look where they're surfing every day. They live in Virginia Beach before the wave pool existed, and they have their 511 dumpster diver and their lost RNF. It's like, all right, so the lost RNF could maybe work, but really in Virginia Beach, you want like a longboard and then you want like a sweet potato or something. And then maybe, yes, you could have your dumpster diver for that one day every 4 months. It's good, but you don't want to rely on like a board like that in a place where there's no wave. So 100% where you live ultimately determines what quiver you have. So if you're moving around a lot, you kind of want to have boards that can ride pretty good in most conditions. And that's where daily drivers are good and just all around boards that can do kind of do everything, like the Revo Max, like the Two Fish, like the Machadocado. These boards can do a lot. They're not just one wave fits all. Whereas where you go more, in particular, high performance boards, they're going to be, better for high performance waves. So if you live in Bali, you're going to want like bigger, more charging boards because you're going to be riding bigger, more charging waves. So definitely, that answered your question, Mr. Wolfgang, 100%. And um, and we'll talk about the Harley in a sec too, because I think that board is meant to be like a pretty good quiver killer and a pretty good like indicator of because you can ride all these different fins in it that it ends up being. Oh, my hair is all weird. Ends up being like, where's my hairdresser on set? It ends up being good for a lot of locations because you can try different fins. And I actually wrote a twin fin in it, which is probably like not the most ideal. Like it's almost seems to be wants to be as a quad, and then twin fin might be second. But it's also supposed to be a good like asym board where you can have different fin two on one side, one the other. You can see here with Chris Crow showing me that it has all these different fin plugs in the board itself, three on each side, which again I've never seen before. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, like that's like a new crazy concept. And even Chris was saying that it pretty much is new. I mean, someone might have done it, but no one's really brought it to scale or anything. So, um, Worcester Wolfgang has another question. It's getting hot in here. I gotta take off my clothes. It's getting so hot. I want to take my clothes off. So Wolfgang also says, totally agree. Do you think you would go down in leaders or change certain construction types if to live in areas that were more peaky and fast? For sure. Yeah, for sure. So you probably live kind of where I live, Mr. Wolfgang, but yeah, like a board like the mashup in particular is sick for like peaky fast waves. That's where like it really excels. Um, but when it's not peaking fast, I've noticed the mashup isn't that great. So I would probably go down a little bit in liters and in length if it was going to be more of a low tide nudist beach type wave, as opposed to something like a two fish or even the Harley Ingleby board. They kind of tend to want waves that have more space, you have a little more time. Um, like the wave pools are good examples of like extremely peaky, small pocketed waves. Where in like most of these wave pools now, the pocket's so tight you can't really do like roundhouses, so you end up kind of wanting to surf extremely in the pocket. And a lot of the boards we have in our quivers probably aren't really meant to be surfed like in this tight pocket and never leaving the tight pocket. So, um, I would definitely, yeah, go down a few liters. I mean, for me, the liters though is more about the paddling and less about how it feels. So I'll sacrifice a little bit of maneuverability to paddle about a bunch and to not be like sinking out there. So that's my answer there. Hopefully that helps a little bit, Mr. Wolfgang. Yeah, let's get into oh, Mr. Wolfgang then says, I love your username, Mr. Wolfgang. Is that like your real name? I don't mean to be teasing it. It's a cool YouTube username. He says, got it, thank you. I asked because we ride similar boards, and was thinking of getting something for a Nicaragua trip next year. Middle name and last name. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean Nicaragua, I've been to like Popoyo. It's been a while, but yeah, like if you're going there and you're going to like Colorado's and stuff, and you definitely want to have more of a mash up type board, or even like a Dominator, um or like an Almeric, like happy every day. I mean, I still wouldn't go full performance because once you're too used to, I think, like the more gravelly boards, you end up kind of getting in this weird position where you get on like a true high performance thruster type board, and it feels way too not enough drive, not enough like movement of board. So it ends up being kind of like you're trying to like get it going and you're having to work the board more, and you're used to the board actually doing more work. So it's good to find that happy ground. I think surfboard manufacturers have done a good job these last 5 years making these boards that are actually end up being like more daily driver type boards. With Firewire, I think doing a really good job of making like boards that most people can ride, except like the Kelly boards, which are usually a lot less dimmed. But like the Dan Man boards that are the Kelly options are going to be the most high performance. And if you're like at that level, like then those would be good for Nicaragua. But if you're not used to that, then just getting something in between would be your best bet. Um, they probably have boards down there, but you probably want to at least have the board somewhat dialed in. So, and then if you're going like and it's like a super hot time of the year, you don't really want to get like a black carbon fiber board. Um, I've kind of become an epoxy fanboy. Like I really, especially the Firewire material, whatever they're doing is just like really nice. I also really like the black sheet material. Today the Harley Ingleby was in the Thunderbolt. I didn't get to ride it like enough to really get like the proper feel of it. But to me, it feels like the volcanic material in terms of like stiffness. Maybe a teeny bit stiffer than the volcanic ibolic, but the volcanic helium definitely is maybe similar or stiffer than the Thunderbolt. So, um, yeah, for Nicaragua, I mean, if I had to like just guess a board for myself, I mean, when I surfed there, I think I rode the Bruce Irons JS model. Can't remember, but um, yes. Do I think the Lost Quiver Killer would be a good option? Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that's what I rode in the Virginia Beach wave pool, or was it's the Rad Ripper I might have rode. It might be kind of similar boards. Um, this weird screen thing is big, making it weird. It's light. Can I share my screen? Let's see. Try this. I'm trying to remember what that board is. Quivacata. Oh yeah, it's a pintail too. You know, I think like something like this would be perfect. Um, yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I think this would be a great board. I love round pins. This is more appropriately volumed for like a that kind of board. Like for me, the 511 33 liters would be really nice. Um, Now the thing is too though, when you go to like these kind of bigger wave spots, um, sometimes like you don't want to go too small because when the waves do get big, then you almost like want kind of more of a step up board. So that's why in the end you want to get something that like can grovel a little bit, but then also still get in the waves when you need to. That's what my friend ran into when he went to Tahiti, and his boards are all 511, 60, like 33-ish liters. That's kind of a different ballpark than Nicaragua, but it can still get big and heavy there. So you just want to kind of have somewhat have it figured out. And I mean, it's hard to put all this into one board. That's why the whole quiver killer is kind of like a weird concept. Because in the end, I mean, something like the Revo Max though, that thing would actually be like maybe perfect because then it is long enough and not overly volumed where it ends up actually being like a really good quiver killer because it can still kind of grovel, and when it gets like bigger, it can hold its own. I just don't know if the quiver killer it has the pintail, so most likely it can. And then sometimes like even things like putting in bigger fins, changing the fin setup, that can help too. So he says he's using the Lost Pisces and Black Dark Art at 5'10", 35-ish liters. That's awesome. That board sounds sick. Yeah, I mean, he said, I can be fine with Lost Subdriver 6'2", 33 liters and poly, but need to get something else. Yeah, true, true. Um, I think I don't know. Like to be super honest, like I'm not the expert right now on like high performance boards, um, because I don't really have too much desire for them anymore. Like I want a wider nose. I mean, the 5'8" Machadocado I rode today, like looking at it, I was like, this thing is like this nose is wide. It's a sweet potato. It looks like a sweet potato at times, but it did not feel wide at all. So sometimes it doesn't really even matter how like high performance the board really looks. Sometimes it just matters like how thin the tail is and the width of the tail. A lot of times it's the bottom half of the board can actually have more effect on how the board rides than the top half. A lot of times you look at the top half and you don't if you think, oh, the top half isn't a pointy nose, it's not going to be super high performance. I think that's kind of just like a not a white lie, but a stereotype of high performance surfboards that we're so used to. And that's what's funny about the Revo Max is it doesn't look anything like a high performance shortboard. But the Revo Max surfs extremely high performance. And if it's like going off and I have the Revo Max, I'm super confident. And it's funny, it's a twin fin. So so Wolfgang says he also has a 6 foot Chili Miami Spice at 38 liters. That's sick, sort of a pintail. He's 6'2", 190, 195, so he's a bigger guy. Okay, yeah. Now you're making me feel bad because all my boards, if they are the same size as yours. I mean, I'm 5'10", 170-ish, so um but yeah, I kind of ride bigger boards anyway, and I'm like too far gone. But lately I have been riding somewhat smaller and there is hope for me, but we're only getting older, so you might as well get used to it. But I feel like you have enough boards that I think you're set, but if you did want to get one more, I think your option of the lost quiver killer would be good because it's not as over leadered, but I mean that 6 foot 38 chili, like that could be your step up, which is kind of sick. Um Mr. Wolfgang says maybe he's scaling down too much. He says I am ripping in my leaders. Well, thank you, sir. There you go. I can sleep well tonight. I got my compliment for the day. When I rode this 5'8" Machado Kado at 34.4 liters, it felt super skatey, but not slide outy. And I wrote it had the KS 2+1s. It felt chef's kiss. It felt amazing. It felt better than Rob's 2+1s, which is crazy because Rob made his fin setup just for the Machado Cado. And I've ridden them a few times, but to be honest, they feel good, but they have a little too much hole. But the KS 2+1 with the bigger back fin, it had the perfect amount of speed down the line, flickingness, and I was really impressed with how excuse me, the KS Endorphin fins, the twin 2+2 rides in pretty much everything. I've ridden them in every single board, they've been amazing. And then with the trailer, it was like really sick. So let me see if I can even find that clip really quick of me riding the Machado Cado. This me? Oh, nice. Oh, the audio is working out of the speaker now. Let's see. This is good TV. Me scrubbing through clips. This is just what y'all want to see. Oh, wait, is that me? Oh, look, there's me. Oh, yeah. Can I zoom in? Oh, that's a no. 12:30. I'm gonna find this clip of the Machadocado really quick. Oh, what are you doing, QuickTime? Oh my god, it worked. Look at this. Wow. Yeah, I got some clips of the HI BT 3+3 as well. Let's see really quick if I can share this screen. So yeah, let's check out this quick little LCA LLCCABZ6676. Did YouTube pick that name for you? That's a great YouTube name. That is a Lacabs 66. Oh, 67. That's the word, right? The 67. The kids say 67. You said it. I didn't say it. It's in your username 67. I'm trying to fit in here. Um, yeah, we're gonna show a quick clip of me on this Machadocado 5.8. You are sharing your entire screen. So is this working? Let's see. Says you are sharing here. Share the no. I'm about to go to Mirrorland. Sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. So here is me on the 5.8 Machadocado today. And you can see it's just super nimble. There's heaps of spray, just heaps. And look, this is like a nothing wave. And this is, the second, third wave. I've never ridden this board on this size, never ridden with the fins. And it just felt perfectly at home. Couldn't believe it. One day it will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. But like I had a blast on the 5.8, and again, it felt a little short paddling, but like my adrenaline was pumping. But the waves were like crap. This is like crap surf. But it felt super good. And again, the KS Endorphin 2+2s to me feel. I mean, I'm gonna say it way better than the Machado 2+1 fin setup. I don't know why. I might just be such a fanboy for the KS fins. So great bottom drive, super flickability, and the board just like cruises. And when it's at this size, you can just like flip it around like it's a little, potato chip board. But the nose is still super duper wide. So it just feels great, that board. So let's see. LLCAB6667. I'm talking about that one sec. Oh, but you might have left. You're over it. Um, Wolfgang says you never really ridden different constructions in places that are faster, more peaky. Do you have any advice, or does it matter? Okay. I mean, I think with the carbon fiber and the epoxy and stuff, there's like two different camps here. Sometimes the epoxy can end up being like kind of boaty and stiff, and it actually ends up feeling like more bored and not as lively, just like a different kind of ride. Then there's, I would say, higher grade epoxy, or even like the dark arts carbon fiber constructions, or the black sheep built lost, where like it's that perfect balance of like get up and go springness, but then also like it's not going to get too horribly out of place when the waves do get bigger. The ibolic, what's it called? Volcanic construction, I think is like a really good blend too, because it's like a really hard material. Like it's almost, it kind of, I don't wear track pads because I'm cool like that, and it kind of hurts my knees the most out of all my other boards, because the volcanic is harder than the helium, and the board's still kind of new. But I noticed it for sure that it's like a harder, denser material with like a little less give. So you want the board to have some give. So there's this balance between the board having give and not having give. So it comes down to like just the preference of the material, because like say Torque, which has an epoxy. Now I don't want to hate on Torque, but that epoxy I would say is like the lower level, where it ends up kind of almost feeling heavier and too stiff. The Thunderbolt I rode today was like a good alternative, where it did have more drive, more float, and felt better. Still had some stiffness, but wasn't like overwhelming. But if I had to go like the Thunderbolt versus the Revo Max material, I mean, I haven't ridden the Thunderbolt enough, but the Revo Max might be one of my favorite materials, the volcanic ibolic. It's just um something about it is just really nice. So, and I do really like the get up and go from oh, one sec, we got camera overheating issues. I don't know. You can't overheat because you have a fan on. So why would you overheat when the fan is on you, camera? Okay. So quick check, camera might explode. We'll see what happens here. Um, haven't seen the high temperature warning on that thing in a while. I am streaming in 4K. Can you watch this in 4K right now? Let's see. This is just such a riveting stream, huh? It's riveting. This is riveting stuff here. Let's see here. Quality, select. Oh, it's 1080. Yeah, 1080. It said it was streaming in 4K on the camera, but it might just be a YouTube limitation because I kind of ghetto stream. But it actually might look a little better. I mean, it looks freaking amazing. Um, so Wolfgang Weiss says, if money does not matter, what construction should I get in the Lost Quiver Killer? Okay, Lost has like so many different things. I would say which are the options here? They're asking me about cookies. I gotta give them my cookies. Um, I mean, I like the black sheep built, which is almost like half and half or something. Um, like yeah, the double dart to me, anything that's black all over is gonna be just kind of harsh and with just wax melting, just straight up. Like it ends up being a little bit of a wax nightmare because you're always trying to make sure the wax doesn't melt, especially in places like the Nicaragua where it's gonna be like hot AF. Maybe not right now, but it still will be. So I like the black sheep was cool, even though it is black on top, pretty sure. Yeah, and white on bottom. I don't think it still resonates as much heat. I don't really like the lib tech material. To me, I like how it's indestructible, but I don't like how it's kind of heavy and seems to be the stiffest. So maybe even like this light speed material. I don't know if I've actually ridden the light speed or not. I can only speak on what I've ridden and like kind of have felt. And so far, I really like the black sheep built. Kind of seems to be the best of both worlds, but maintains some rigidity. Has the carbon fiber stiffness, but it doesn't go full bore. So that's what I would kind of say. Um, Wolfgang says he wants to try the C3 construction. What is that? The C3. What's the C3 construction? Yeah, and we'll get to the Harley Ingleby board here soon. Feel bad he's ever clicking on this. So like, what are you talking about? It has been 30 minutes. You haven't said one thing about it. Wolfgang says it's like epoxy with cork. Is it by Lost? Oh yeah, carbon cork composite. Um, okay. So it's like a okay, I've actually seen the cork boards before. Um, I don't know. I don't know to be honest. It's kind of hit or miss. Yeah, I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't go with the cork. I don't know. Doesn't seem I've never seen it till you asked me that. I've only see yeah, you say it may be risky. I agree. I've only seen this. My friend got a board that is friend shapes that are made out of cork, so I know there is somewhat of a niche of these cork surfboards, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't go that route. Let me do one of these cameras about to blow up. Give me one sec, y'all. The open and close stuff, it helps. There we go. Oh wait, I know. Up, go. There we go. Didn't blow up yet. Yeah, so I'd stay away. Wolfgang says, I guess black sheep. I suppose one could change the color to not have wax melting issues. Yeah, true. And again, like, I mean, I'm going kind of off hearsay, and I've never actually owned a black surfboard yet on top. But I know for sure, like on all my boards have pretty much black rails, and the black rails get super melty. Um, and I wax the crap out of my board, so for me, it'd be like a lot harder because my top, it's caked in wax, caked. I pretty much have like a layer this thick of wax, and I don't ride a pad, so for me, it's like more important the wax job. So I'd say just I don't know if you have had a blackboard and it hasn't been that crazy, I would just do it anyway. Like YOLO, only live once. You know, we're all gonna die here soon eventually, so you might as well at least try things you're interested in trying. I mean, we get the asteroid get hit tonight, tomorrow. We might not wake up. So it's like sometimes you just got if you really want to try something, just go for it. If it doesn't hurt anyone and make you go like into the poorhouse immediately or something. So I'm gonna YOLO it with that one, millennial YOLO. But yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. Um, Now let's shift some gears, and I want to show you guys real quick. Chris Grow. Now I'm gonna make like a dedicated video about this too. Oh, and Wolfgang, no worries at all, man. I'm stoked you came in here and asked some questions. I mean, you're the original chat questioner, and like for me, the stream is never about the topic I'm putting on the thumbnail and stuff. Like that's kind of a catch-all to get you to come in. But once we're in here, like my goal is just to like have fun with you guys and like just talk about surfboards, and I don't want to actually be tied down to the one topic. But there has to be some kind of topic because I'm not famous enough to just be like Saturday live stream, come hang out. Like none of you guys care. So I have to at least say like I surfed the new surfboard no one surfed yet. And you oh he clicked, let's go watch him. And then you're like, oh no, wait, he's not even talking about the surfboard. But then luckily I got you in and maybe like I say a joke or two and you think I'm like funny or like I'm handsome or something, and you stick around. So I gotta get you in here somehow. So no, so I appreciate the dialogue. This is all about the dialogue. Like this is why the live chats and the live streams are so fun. No editing. And it's just fun interacting with people and actually having like cool conversations like this. So all right, Brooke Ease. Is this Brooke? Hyperfreak Brooke or no? Says 6'7"? I guess, yeah. Supposedly In and Out banned the order 6'7" now. So you can't when 6'7" comes up and like their order, the employees can't say 6'7" because it was causing like a riot out in the streets. These the Gen Alphas are weird, man. I think Gen Alpha is the one under Gen Z. I mean, I'm kind of into it. Like I find them funny and like their creativity is like they're almost like a Bob Dylan coolness where they're so cool, but they're just like not cool, but they're cool because they just are themselves or something. It's hard to explain, but like they're so cool in being just this kind of weirdo. I'm generalizing to the max here about all Gen Alphas, but they're just so cool in like their mystique. It's like a mystique of coolness. Um, and I think the 6'7" thing, yeah, it's pretty much a big inside joke. I still don't kind of get it. It's pretty much like who is John Galt? That's the Gen Z Alpha version of who is John Galt is 6'7". So if you've read Atlas Shrugged. But all right, so the Harley Ingleby board. I want to do a real quick. Let's see if this works. Experiment for Chris Grow. Shout out Chris Grow. Now he works with Thunderbolt now and has like a lot of experience in the surfboard game. He breaks down the fin setup. Brooks shouting out 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". She said like 67 times. That was pretty awesome. So Chris talks about the fin setup in this. So what makes the Harley Ingleby this new new board's so unique is it has three different fin like three different boxes on each side. So you pretty much have like three different options of surfboard to surf, three different fin setups, which is crazy because like talk about a 5 fin setup. This is a 6 fin setup. No back fin, though. It would have been kind of interesting if you put a back fin setup in there, and then it became like a 4 fin setup. But fin placement is a little harder than you think. Like especially when there's 5 fin setups, it's usually actually not perfect in terms of the quad and the tri fins would actually be like a teeny bit in a different place than if it is a 5 fin setup. So you're kind of gaining more accessibility with more fin options, but you're losing a little bit of the precision with that. So that's kind of why it's nice sometimes when there's a board like the Riva Max, Two Fish, or this Harley Ingleby board where they kind of actually make these fin setups like really precise. But this Harley Ingleby setup is really unique because each setup is like way precise. So I wrote it as a twin, which in a normal quad setup, the twin it would be too far up. But because this has the 3 fins, the power twin or the twin you put in kind of sits in right in the unique spot. So let's see what Chris has to say about it. He does a good job of explaining it.
For this innovative fin.
So let's listen to Chris.
3 stands for this innovative fin cluster that Harley developed in collaboration with Thunderbolt Surfboards and FCS. It's set up for true twin performance or true quad performance, or if we take a little walk this way,
So true twin or true quad
true asym performance.
or true asym.
Boxes are for twin, black fin boxes are for quad. Just gives you a lot more optionality for experimenting with drive on rail than any other fin configuration previously, because of the way that Harley worked with Thunderbolt and FCS to specifically create true box placement by milling out a portion of the FCS2 fin box so that this would place perfectly for true twin fin performance. So it lets you experiment with fin configurations that most of us just don't usually have access to.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. There you go. I'm on the team. I'm on the team, so I'm a designated team member, which is pretty amazing. But so Chris pretty much talked about it right there, where this fin setup is really unique. It's the High BT 3+3, and it's the first full collaboration between Billy Tolhurst and Harley Ingleby and FCS, and it's literally like a brand new fin setup that's never been done before. And it's really interesting because like I love when like companies try new things like this and boards because like we have so many normal boards already, and even like the 5 fin setup is pretty normalized. And we got really quick. I gotta just shout out Brooke and KitKat 9831. I'm getting like tons of hearts and likes. Thanks all. They said 6-7, 6-8, 7-8, 6-9. I'm loving how the chat's evolved into a 6-7 club. Perfect, perfect. It's great. Yeah, so I'll show you like let's look at the dims real quick of this board too. Oh, don't look at my desktop. Look at me. Very messy. Oh, look, there's my little screen right there. So what's cool is like right here you're seeing. Oh, we can hear the music out of there now. Oh wow, this is gonna work. Let's hear it. Listen to Harley talk about it for a sec. Oh wait. What the? Oh.
Which for me is a well oversized board. I think if you could make an oversized board feel magic, you've got a super good base to start scaling up and down from. The HIBT comes in 510, 60, 62.
I rode the 6. I rode the 6 too. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I read the 6.2. So this thing isn't actually Brooke said I'm looking. This thing isn't like too gargantuan size. It's like pretty manageable, but when you're looking at it, it seems like it's more board than it is, which is kind of funny. So like the 6.2 that I had in 36 liters, um Kit Kats is 6.2, more like 6.7. Oh god. True, very true. I love it. You're getting hearts and hundreds. There you go. Um so like I like how the board isn't really like the lowest dim is 510 at 32 liters. So it's kind of funny how even this board, the marking of this board is kind of more of like a mid-length, like I don't want to say old guy board, but it's a little more of that type of board. And even the like what it looks like and stuff to me, this looks like a pod mod. I mean, this is like very pod mod esque. Um, so that's why I like the shape a lot. But the again, the most important thing of this is the fin setup. And where'd it go? I lost that page we just had. Oh, whatever. But I think that like I think the best fins for this are is the quad. Like when Chris was first talking to me about it, he was like, "All right, let's get the quad in here." And I was like, "Well, I kind of want to try as a twin." And like, "All right, let's do the Power Twins." So he wanted to initially have me in the quads. I think most people like this would be a quad would be like the first thing you want to do with it. Um, and then after the quad, Kit says she likes the shape of the board. She or he, sorry, Kit, Cat. Um, he or she likes the shape of the board, or they or that. Well, I mean, whatever. I don't. I can't keep up. But I like the shape of it too. Um, has a nice swallowtail, nice little like hip right here, and I love how I always want boards to have more space up here than down here. If the board is too skinny right here and wide down here, like a dumpster diver, it's going to be better suited for a back foot surfer. I'm more of a front foot surfer. One way to know this is if you fall off a turn, if your foot slides off, does the board come hit you in the face? Because if that happens, that means your front foot slid off and your front foot is doing that work. Board hits you in the face. Back foot surfers, you're going to be more drivey, and they're not going to have that issue as much because they're pushing off the tail. So if that's ever happened, the board hits you in the face. That's an easy way to be like, oh, I'm more of a front foot surfer because that happened. Um, yeah, so I love the shape, and then again, I want to get a better picture of the fins. Fin setup. Here's a good picture of it. Oh, Instagram. All right, here's a good one. So, oh, they're showing all the different fin configurations. So, like this, I think is probably the ideal setup. Is the what the hell is that? Is the quad because this is a lot of people just feel good on a quad. It's gonna go fast. It's gonna have hold, and this is explaining to you like where you'd put the fin boxes. Like Chris just said, a white fin boxes are for the twins. The black fin boxes are for the quad set, and then the asym, you would kind of do like that. So it's pretty unique and super cool. Um, see, most times when you try to ride a twin on a quad board, you'd have to pick which fin box to put the twins in, and you'd probably put it in the top one. Then now the fins are way up here; they're way up the board. But with this middle fin plug, it gives you that option of having them right in the right spot. And that's the what I rode was the Power Twin. Let's see if Past Me wants to chime in really quick. Let's see. Yeah, we can watch. So here's me from earlier with the actual board, and I rode the exact, pretty much similar to the ones that he has in here. On this guy, so little power twin. So I have the Power Twins in here, which Chris recommended, and they're pretty much I think they have like their own version of this, but it's a pretty much a very giant kind of upright big twin fin, not very keely, more of like a normal fin template, just supersized for twins. Let's look at the board a little bit too. Twins on this guy, so little power twin action. Always wanted to try these fins, so again, this can have all these different fin setups, but the power twins. So Chris recommended these, so yeah, and I did ride the 6.2. You can see right here, 6.2, 20 to 4th, 2 and a 6, 36. So pretty amazing. What's funny is like 36 liters, that's the same literage as the Machadocado 5.9, but this board would definitely feel more drivey, more down the line, a little more stiff, and overall a little bigger because it's 6.2 as opposed to 5.9. So it's funny how like volume can mean a lot, but a lot of times I think we get a little too hung up on volume. And you do always want to look at the other things too. I mean, the Revo Max is 6.3, 35-ish liters. So that board definitely helped me reaffirm that sometimes let's not forget about the length of the board. 6.2. There's the dims. 36 liters. Yeah, so I was really happy to try the Power Twin as that. And now let's get into like Kit's saying you can just call her Cat. Yo, can get some more people in the chat. Yo, you guys gotta chat it up. Cat's looking for friends. She wants to chat it up. We have like lurkers when you lurk and you don't chat. How dare y'all? How dare you? Oh look, Brooke will be your friend. There you go. We have friendly friends making friends. But all right, so let's talk about a little bit how like the board rode. So, now first off, the Power Twins. I hadn't ridden the Power Twins. They were very big. Now I'm used to bigger twin fins. I have the Album Twins. Um, I've ridden the T-Nox Twins, like bigger twin fins. But the Power Twins for sure were like very holdy. One thing I noticed with the Harley Ingleby HI BT board was like when I stood up, I didn't know what to really expect. I was almost expecting it to be, it felt very stable and very much like a platform, but not like a twin spin platform, more like a friendly, familiar feeling for sure. And what I liked is how the board like it's held very steady. So the Thunderbolt construction, it might have been the first time I read Thunderbolt construction too. But it's kind of unique because it's epoxy, but it's also what let's see exactly what it is. Before I start just making up stuff. No, I think it's Thunderbolt Silver is what there's actually a couple different Thunderbolts that I'm realizing. There's Black, Thunderbolt Red, Thunderbolt Silver. Oh, you know what? It says it on the oh, this says Thunderbolt Reds. This board is all around performance Thunderbolt. So it is fiberglass hand lamination. It was their first construction and perform especially well in all conditions. Features a carbon fiber internal flex, hand laminated. Design provides a balanced feel with medium rebound rate, highly versatile. It's ideal for servers looking for dependable all-around performance, a consistent feel in a wide variety of wave conditions. And that's one thing I definitely felt about the Harley the board in the Thunderbolt Red was it was super like right away it was very consistent. That's the perfect word for it. It was like extremely just like I stood up, oh, this is how the board feels, and then every wave, I knew right away like how the board was gonna feel. And I feel like this board would do really well in like bigger surf. To me, it doesn't feel, even though I had it with twins, it doesn't feel and didn't feel like a board you just kind of whip around. It was more of a drivey board that wants to be kind of pushed and help you plow through chop and chunder as you're kind of like setting up returns. It does a really good job of keeping you locked in. Whereas when I got the Machadocado later, that board's like a lot more lively. So it almost depends on your skill level too, and just your preference. Some people want a more locked in drivey board. Some want just like a crazier, looser board. And I thought the Thunderbolt material was a good balance of the two. Um, I couldn't really believe that I was on a twin fin because it did not feel like a twin fin at all. I mean, it didn't even feel like the twin fin that somewhat was kind of a weird feeling, like, that I couldn't really ever dial in. Like, this, like, right away was a lot more dialed, but it definitely wasn't, like, a slidey, crazy twin fin. It almost was the perfect amount of drive with the twin fin, um, and release. But after riding it, I could see maybe why the quad could be preferred. It's a kind of a bigger board, and sometimes when the board is a little bigger and it is kind of that stiffer material, more fin can help kind of direct it a little bit. So the twins felt good, but I wouldn't have minded also trying the quad and then also the asym setup. So I think that next time I do try it, maybe I will try the quad, but I'm just not a big quad type guy. So that's going to be a late Travis figures that out later decision. But overall, like 1 out of 10 out of how it rode, the waves were actually not that great too to really like decipher how it rode. So I feel kind of bad, like kind of making an assumption off of only a few waves. See if I can find some. I'd probably give it like a between 7 and 8, which is the how it felt and the material. Now compared to some of these firewire materials, like it leans more towards the volcanic feeling than the helium feeling. So if you want that more drivey, like plow, to me that's what the Thunderbolt Red felt like. Now looking at what the Thunderbolt materials are, um, like the Thunderbolt Black, which is carbon fiber hand lamination, that might be a little more like kind of springy, and that newer epoxy that I've been noticing that it wants to like really just spring, and it's almost a little much at times. You have to kind of like tame her. The 3+3 in the Red Thunderbolt felt like it was already tamed, and I just had to do my thing. It wasn't like gonna go out of control. A nice, easier type ride that some people kind of want sometimes. Some people don't want the board to have a mind of its own and be inconsistent. Sometimes that consistent feeling of a surfboard is nice because it can be reliable. Give me one sec. Having technical difficulties here. Oh, we have another question too. So, oh, nice. We got Nudik in the chat. Nudik, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Hope you're good. Ooh, he owns the board we are talking about right now. Well, would you look at that? So he says he has the 6.0 3+3. Well, how do you like it, sir? How do you like that board? Because I rode the 6.2. And after riding the 6.2, I could have ridden the 6.0. I don't think the 6.0 was available at the demo when I grabbed it. I think it was either like go supersized or I had to go what I went with, and it felt good. And the waves were like so crappy that I was happy with what I went with, just like grovel it. Kit says, "Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at it?" He finally looked at it. Nudik, how do you pronounce your name? Nduik says he only got a mushy session on it so far. Interesting. Okay, yeah. I mean, it is like a pretty new board. I mean, when did it come out? Came out like maybe a month or two ago. Um, when did this come out? Oh yeah, November 2024. So literally a month ago. Oh wow, and it was actually shown in 2024 at the boardroom show, but then they had it at the 2025 boardroom show, like the actual ready to go ones. That's pretty cool. Stoked for Travel actually did a pretty cool video with him talking a lot about it, and he did a good job of explaining, the different setups here. So I might just show you guys that really quick, just to like show you the man himself who. And thank you, Stoked for Travel, for letting me use your video, which I haven't asked, but I'm fair use, and hopefully you're okay with this. I guess we'll see. Don't uh, cancel me, please. But let's let him talk to you guys for a sec because I think he will do a good job of explaining these different board fins. So
we talk about options we can run in this one? What fins would you run as a twin? What fins would you run as an asym? And what fins would you run as a quad?
so he does recommend the larger quads as well. So I think the board wants more fin than less fin is what I'm gathering because it wants the power twins, it wants the large quads. When you're on an asym, usually it needs to be kind of bigger fins because you have the one fin on the side that has to compensate. So you need like kind of a bigger side fin. Let's let him finish here.
Just works in everything. It's a really good fin set, which is the reactor is quite an upright. It's classed as a pivot upright fin. Though it has a lot of bass, it probably has more bass than a lot of other fins in the range, so it still has tons of drive. But when you gas off, you can break your lines and change direction nice and easily. So I really like that about the reactor front fins.
That's what I noticed about the board too. It has like heaps of drive, and but then when you want to kind of like push on the brakes and maybe do like a check turn, it lets you. But what I notice is it really has that nice get up and go from the epoxy esque board, and then the ability to drive down the line and to also but not get too stuck, which is nice. Kit says, I'm sure she thinks it'll be okay for the board. And how to get into surfing. What board do I recommend for beginners? So quick tide, tide tide rant. Just get a 8-foot classic wave storm. Go to Costco and ask for the 8-foot wave storm, and that's the perfect board to learn on for you. You want a giant foam board is what you want essentially.
And just paired with the Performer Medium quad rears, just the 80/20 foil, I just find that they're far and away the best quad rears all round. They've got a little bit more rake than a reactor quad rear, and they're not quite as deep either. So for me, that combination it really, really works. So we'll be releasing that as a PG quad set, which we'll recommend for this. And then the twin fin is the Power Twin, which is a fin I'd actually designed for FCS many years ago, when we first released the twin in asymmetric with Thunderbolt a long, long time ago. So back in 2016 when we released that board, we had to supply the broken up fin set. So I came up with, basically invented the Power Twin for FCS because at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. So the Power Twin was pretty much he's claiming that he invented it, and that's a sick fin. That's kind of one of their go-to twins now is the Power Twin. I mean, I've been wanting to try that fin for a while, so I was happy to try it. After trying it, I wouldn't mind it having like a little more refined tip, maybe like a teeny bit more. I was pretty locked in. I mean, it's the board as well, but for like a twin fin, it reminded me of the Twinsman where like it wanted to be more locked in, and this kind of has like more kind of a Twinsman shape. It's not as platformized, where it's like you're in the platform, like that movie, The Platform or The Platform 2. Go watch this on Netflix. It's an amazing movie, The Platform. Quick side rant. Kit's asking, she's not from America, no Costco. Just any shopping store though, hopefully. Where are you based, Kit? I mean, any even at a surf shop, if there are surf shops nearby, just go and ask for a catch surf, or just you want like a big foam board, and just tell me you told me. Oh, you're in New Zealand. We're in New Zealand. I love New Zealand. I've been to Wanaka, Queensland, or Queenstown, um, the North Island a bunch, Auckland, Piha, um, yeah, Byron. I love New Zealand. It's an amazing place. Good for you. Yeah, so any shops there will have like big ass foam boards. You just want a big ass foam board to start, and a wetsuit probably where you're at. You guys can hear this, right? When he's speaking. Just please confirm.
Asymmetric, yeah, it's
Yeah, you have to.
just utilizing those same two fin sets. So putting the quads.
Well, I'm stoked that New Zealanders are getting my YouTube live stream. That makes me happy. She says, "That's awesome, dude. I hope you loved your waves. I did. I loved your waves. Piha was amazing. There were some sweet, like random waves. I actually went all the way to the north tip of the North Island, just the tip. That was a sick experience. Where like you walk up that grassy knoll and you're like on the very north. That was really cool. So New Zealand, I can't wait to go back. And then like Wanaka is just a hilarious like heaven. It's heaven on earth in Wanaka and Queenstown. So North Island, South Island, I'll take either. But I love Australia, and I know you guys are frenemies, so
Power twin on the toe side. So yeah, putting your quads and the twin in, and yeah, give it forward.
interesting. So he just said
I mean,
with the asym setup, you just literally just with this board, all you do is buy the Power Twins, buy the quad reactors, and then you can just out of those two fin setups, that two fin setup, you have three fin setup, and that's how you ride the asym. You use one Power Twin on one side, and the other side is the two quads. That's pretty cool because you're essentially getting three different fin setups out of just two. So you only have to buy two sets of fins, and that helps you supply the three different setups that this board offers. That's pretty cool. What fins did you use, Nuduik? What fins did you use in this board?
I remember when we had the twin in the market, the asym. I had friends that were natural footers that rode the goofy skews. So I'm not going to like set any rules as to how you have to ride this board. It's really up to personal preference and just experimenting and playing. But another thing we found with the asym and having it in the market was like so many people were really to try it and interested, but having to supply the fin sets and just being, quite an expensive build board, they weren't the cheapest, so people were kind of hesitant to jump in with such an extreme different kind of shape. But with this, you can really
Yeah, he just made a good point. Like the problem with sometimes like the Revo Max, like making like a strictly twin fin board or like an asym board. Like there's a lot of album boards that are asyms. Like they look beautiful, they're cool, but like you're alienating like a big chunk of the surf market, and there's already a slim margin of profit from surfboard manufacturing. So you're kind of like kicking like you're kind of screwing yourself over a teeny bit by refining the board so much to a certain niche fin setup. Hence, what just happens? Hence, you kind of want to like have more fin options than just one. Up, I'm jammed. Oh.
play with it, and you still got to trust the everyday quad short. designed it in a way that you can ride it as on volume as you need. The front's a pretty flat bottom, very neutral, doesn't get directional. So even if you're a very lightweight surfer, you can still ride the 7.2 or any of the sizes. So it's really just coming down to how much rail line and how much paddle power you need and what kind of waves you're surfing and just personal preference. But yeah, I'm riding every single size in this board and just loving them in their own ways. You know, it's just again that same old how much rail line do you want, how much like sort of length of arc feeling do you want, or short arc and fitting it in the pocket. It's just that, you know, different conditions and what you want the board to be in your quiver. Yeah, it's very, very versatile.
In terms of
which board today is going to let me surf basically flat waves? I need a mega groveler, and that thing ain't cutting it. We're heading off to another Firewire demo to see what they got in store. The goal here is to maybe do another Machadocado round 2 review. Let's see what we got. I got good news. We secured 510 Machado round 2. Let's go shred. The conditions are even worse than last time, so let's see if this is the ultimate ground. Just take another look at this beauty. Get the Rob fits in here. 2 plus 1. There's how thin this tail gets. It gets thinner than the Machado tail for sure. Just looked at it right. That gets really thin. And it just quickly gets thicker and thicker. The 2Cs. The space up here, it gets super wide, like right. Just like that, we're back in biz. We're back in biz. My camera shut down. First time ever. The old ZV-1 shut down in the live stream. I probably should have turned off 4K streaming, but let's just roll with it for a little bit. Hope I didn't lose too many of y'all here. Yeah, that's the beauty of live streaming. Fun mishaps. And I always forget how to like get back into the friggin' stream. It's always a big pain in the butt. I think I have to actually end it somewhat to reconnect. That's the part that always messes me up. I'm just checking something real quick. Yeah. So, oh, we go. Create, go live. Oh, okay. So that's how I do it. Oh, now I have an excellent condition. Excellent. All right, we're back. It's like we never left. Keeping everyone on their toes. Up, we did lose a bunch of people. Y'all are over it. Apologies. But let's bring up that video again because we were just getting cooking. Because I want to say how to size this thing now. Because what I realized is that it actually hides the volume a lot. So, like New to X said, he has the 6.0, and like it's kind of like the probably like the Machadocado, or it's kind of like these boards that you don't actually have to supersize. Like, all right, my camera's making that thing again. All right, guys, talk amongst yourselves. I need to turn off 4K streaming is why it's doing that. So let's see what he says again. 1 second. About sizing. Because you want to size this thing like not gargantuan. You actually want to, depending on what you want out of it, I'd say go like kind of normal size. So let me show you real quick.
Yeah, I'm riding every single size in this board and just loving them in their own ways. You know, it's just again that same old, how much rail line do you want, how much like sort of length of arc feeling do you want, or short arc and fitting it in the pocket. It's just that, you know, different conditions and what you want the board to be in your quiver. Yeah, it's very, very versatile.
In terms of sizing, obviously we've talked through that, you know, it runs from a 510 right through to a 7.2.
Yeah.
How would you advise people to size it if, say, they're already on a mid 6 at the moment?
Yeah.
Obviously that's going to be something that people are going to pair it with, or
yeah.
like how would you size that versus what might already be in their quiver in terms of the mid 6 modes, things like that?
Yeah, if you were comparing this board, or pairing it, I should say, with like a mid 6 or a Mo, if you're already sitting on one of those. Say the mid 6, I know, say the 6.4 mid 6 is around 36 litres, and the 6.2 in this is around that same volume. So that might be, if that volume and amount of paddle works for you, I would say the 36 litre in this would probably.
All kinds of streaming woes today, all different kinds. I'm learning today that you can't push the ZV1 too crazy because it got a little scared and it doesn't want to stream in 4K. So that's a bummer, but live and learn, live and learn. And it's not even actually in 4K here. So what Harley was saying though is that he says that bigger is better. I mean that's kind of my motto too. And when you're in between sizes with the board like the Harley Ingleby 3+3 High BT, like go the upsize because the board's meant to plow through chunder. It's meant to not really be like a flickable like groveler like that. It's kind of meant to like plow through. I mean, let's even see what some other people are saying about the board because um it's kind of interesting that like the boards when boards are so new like this, you're trying to figure out like what it's like, how good it is. So ChatGPT, our new overlord, is saying that besides the fin setup, it can work nice and weak to decent waves. And they are claiming that it is kind of a mid-length, and we can see that because of how small the initial like sizes are. The first size is what 5.8 or something, or sorry 6.0, 5.10, 5.10 I believe. So just double check on the first size. Where is the first size? Oh, they're not gonna say 6.0. No. God dang it. Well, bottom line, when in doubt, go the bigger option. Like I'm looking at the 6.0 right now. So, like in retrospect, the 6.0 probably would be perfect for me. Like that'd be what I would want to have. Um, but again, a lot of people buying this board, I think, are buying it for more of a mid-length option. They want like a little more versatility out of the board than just. And again, the bigger the board is, like the more conditions you're gonna be able to ride the board in. That's just kind of like and that's the bottom line. I was trying to find the lowest freaking size, and it's not showing me anywhere for some reason. I think it was 510. What did it say earlier? Dude, where's the freaking website? This is dumb. They do a bad job like making you find this board. Can't find it. Thunderbolt, this one. And I want the web. God, this is making me really. Technical difficulties. There we go. 510. So 510 is the smallest one up to 7.2. It's interesting. There's actually two different. Okay, I didn't really realize this till now. There's two different ones. There's the red flyer and the blue flyer, and I'm guessing that's the two different somewhat materials, which is interesting, because they were claiming that the red image. Let me show you my screen too. Sometimes sharing your screen can make it blow up. That's maybe why I was blowing up earlier. But now I have it on 1080 streaming, so now it's actually not showing me the warning. So now we're good. We're good again to keep it going. We're at hour and a half. The voice is gone, but let's do it. So here they're claiming like two different ones here. The red flyer and the blue flyer. And the blue flyer is going to act more like a proper mid-length. They're almost kind of going like Revo Max style here, where the lower end of the spectrum of the board range is when you want to shred it more. The higher end is a little more like mid-length cruisy. So that's pretty cool that they have those two options. It looks like the volumes all move the same. Here we go. The shorter sizes are perfect for those like performance shortboard and Thunderbolt tech. The bigger sizes offer more flow and paddle power, ideal for downsizing from a longer board or complementing a mid-mo, a mid-six, or a mo. So the board ends up being really versatile, and like the Revo Max, the smaller sizes are kind of for one target audience, bigger are for another. But what's nice is that whichever one you pick, like you're not going to be too disappointed because you can try different fin setups. The Thunderbolt technology is floaty in itself. It's not that PU when you go too small on a PU board, like it really can hinder you, but like if you go a little too small on an epoxy board, it won't really get you as bad. And Brooke, I agree. Because Stone Cold said so. But yeah, man, I'd love to have another ride on the board. Like here's the asym setup. I'd love to try it as the asym for I'm regular, so you pick the asym based on your stance, and like you'd go one side one stance, the other side the other stance. I don't think I've ever ridden an asym board yet. But yeah, but it bottom line, like it's a super fun board. I would say not as super flickable as like this is a twin compared to kind of felt like the Seaside and Beyond. Lots of like flow and plow, like Mr. Plow, and is down the line magic. It wants to be going down the line. So like this might not be like in particular like a great like like Wolfgang was saying earlier, like a board for like a low tide, like shreddy wave, because the small size is 510 and you're already still kind of getting more of that kind of mini mid-length feel. So it can ride good in that, but like if you're gonna be riding like super hollow New Jersey waves, it might not be your best bet. But if you're riding bigger winter swells, or you're more of a beginner and you want like a high performance shape that's not gonna like just be too much for you, too crazy. It's like kind of like the best blend of those. Let's go watch him shred the board really quick. And it's sick when like the shaper can shred because then it's like it shows that like it's he's the guy making the board and he's shredding. And I think this is him. Yeah. I mean, he's shredding it. So I kind of take back what I said. You can definitely like top to bottom and shred this thing. But as you see, it is more board in front of him. Like there is still more board. So at the wave park, like the pocket's so tight and small, you want to go like you want to shrink your board as much as you can. So could be good for like more of an intermediate or low advanced guy, but like if you're like upper advanced and you really need like a tight in the pocket, you want to go just kind of shorter as you can, and even less liters than you normally would. Well, that's gonna copyright me. Oh, don't copyright me, YouTube. Oh, look, he has the twin. And I think too, the board actually is more of a back foot surfing board because I noticed like when I got on the Machadocado right after this, the Machadocado was a 2+1. And I guess it was, I mean, there's only 2 liters less, but it felt a lot more slippy slidey. But that's also due to the Machadocado having like that thin tail and then the nose taking a lot of the volume and the tail almost just being more of the um kind of like an after and not an afterthought, but the top half of the board is doing a lot more than you would think on a board like this, where it is depending more on the bottom half of the board and you surfing the board from the bottom half. And I'm pretty sure he's probably riding the 510 or the 6. I mean, in this one, he's probably even has the 510 just to like really shred it. See what people are saying about the this on YouTube? Yeah. Are saying about it in the comments. They make comments like harder to find now. Here we go. About time, thrusters the quads, now 20s the quads, waiting for this. This looks amazing. Been riding this a couple months. They're stuck for travel, shout them out. Dropped my full video review, twisted the asymmetrical. We're in the US. You got addicted to the boards. A lot of people are really into like the Mo, the mid 6. Thunderbolt's been around for a while. They've been kind of had a collab with Firewire going for a little bit, and then it kind of dwindled out. But well, I think Firewire kind of wanted to do their own what the Reba Max now looks like. Um, Somewhat of like a carbon blend because I'm pretty sure that what I just kind of learned is the Thunderbolt stuff. Um, oh, and it actually is a collab between Billy Tolhurst and Harley Ingleby. Um, this is when it says yeah, so it's kind of like this refined model that is even made better with just the fin setup and the actual placement of the fins are so in particular and so actualized in how they're supposed to be that it's just unique. They don't really have this in other setups. Like it really is like a one unique option out there in the surf world now, which is cool. Especially for people that want an asym board because a lot of times, like I was saying earlier, the one asym board, it's just not the greatest option just to have the asym board. And because boards are so expensive now, it's like you just buy the asym board, you almost look kind of like a weirdo. You just spent $800 on an asym board. It's like kind of unless you're Richie Rich, it's just hard to swallow that price point of surfboards. Yeah. So this guy's asking, will this be available in Thunderbolt Black? Oh, and Harley said possibly in future, yes. So I think what it is the smaller versions are in the red, the bigger versions are in the blue, and then the Thunderbolt black. See, I'm actually getting like a crash course in Thunderbolt technology right now, which it seems to me like it's their most high performance, whippy, snappy, probably more comparable to like the dark arts stuff. Maybe that will come later. But this board, I think the target audience is people that already ride a mid six, a mo. They ride these kind of bigger shapes. They're not interested necessarily in a small gravelly board, which that was and is kind of the trend. But this last couple of years, there has been a push for like bigger mid lengths, where mid lengths weren't even like they were kind of dead and buried for a while there, and then there was this resurgence the last 7 8 years, and now they're like you got to have your mid length in your quiver. So I think it's pretty cool because there does get a point where it doesn't matter how gravelly the board is, like you need length just to establish paddle longitude, and especially once you get older, you get this thing called surfer's neck. When the boards are so small, you're having to like lift your neck and body up to paddle. When you get older, you just want to kind of like look down almost when you're paddling. This helps if you have like neck pains. Try paddling a little more like this, looking down, and just look up every now and then. That'll give your neck a rest from having to be arched and going like this. And the longer your surfboard is, the easier it is to kind of have that cheat code and just paddle like this. Because I had like really bad surfer's neck, it's actually a lot better. And that was one of the ways I alleviate it. I'm going to do a quick little stretching demonstration. So if you guys are ready, this is how you stretch your neck before you surf. So step one, you do this for a couple of seconds because we never stretch our necks ever. So do this even if you don't surf. This way for a couple of seconds. The other way, a couple of seconds. Then you can get like your shirt or your arms. You can go like that, a couple of seconds. Then you go forward, a couple seconds. Then resistance, you push this way while your head goes this way. So you're pushing against your hand, couple seconds. Other way, couple seconds. And then forward and backwards. You're pushing your head this way, pushing against it. And then the other way. And that's it. That simple resistance and kind of static stretching will help your neck like tons. And that even helps tech neck when we're all kind of doing this all day. Looking at our phones. We need to stay upright, and that simple kind of just like realignment helps me a lot. So before I surf, I do that every time, and my neck's been doing like a lot better. Also, your pillow you sleep with could be another thing you need to dial in to help your surf neck when your neck starts hurting. This guy's saying future boxes. He's gonna say no, 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 because this is like an actual FCS yeah, see, proprietary maneuver with the FCS fin boxes. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, so it was a awesome board to test out. Wouldn't mind giving it another crack. I didn't get enough time on it. Let's see if I can really quick find a clip or two of me riding this thing. Because I had a little setup going on. It was not ideal by any means. You gotta do sometimes. Let's see. And again, I had the 6.2 at 36 liters. Let's see if I can find my clip. I'll show you guys. We're all looking. We have a fun watch party. find my clip. What is going on right here? Let's find my clip. Where am I? Is that me? No, that's not me. I'm better than that person. Nah, she was good actually. I think it was that girl. Yeah, she was shredding. Find my clip. Oh, that was sick. That was like a sick air that guy did. Wo ist meine clip? Let's see. Uh, uh. Might be too hard. I don't know if I can find it in time before y'all get bored. My camera's doing great now. I was trying to stream in 4K, that's why it kept dying. That sucks though. I didn't know I couldn't stream in 4K. I think I can. I think I just have to go HDMI. That might have been me right there. Is that me? Yeah, that's me. So here's where I'm trying to like grovel it. So like that was a nice, like that was a nothing wave. I mean, look, this wave's like nothing. But I was trying to like, little turn there. And I noticed the board does do a good job of like turning and then re-entering, but then also like going because of the Thunderbolt material doesn't like want to kind of slow down. Like I feel like PU sometimes, actually the C drive fins by MDS do a great job of that. When you roundhouse, then it kind of gets a little mushy. They'll just throw you back down the line. This board I noticed did a good job of getting up, and then even when it's nothing and then this little turn, I come back, but then it lets me kind of just grovel through this little section. Which, I mean, it's a what? There's nothing there. That's a nothing wave. So it's not really meant for, for that. But you gotta do sometimes, right? Let's see what happens next. Oh, there we go. Oh, your boy's ready now. Look at that one. I remember that wave. That was like a really fun one. Actually lined up for me. So this is cool because I finally got like a little bit of twin fin action here. So like that felt good. And then it let me rebound and come right back up and go right back down. So I was stoked on that. Oh, Kit says 6 shreds. Brooke says, whoa. Thanks, guys. You guys are making me blush. Making me blush. Look, there's the board. There's the Power Twins. Let's see if we can find another good one. Oh, lost myself. There I am. This was a hectic session because this break only has like 1 or 2 main breaks. You have to kind of like hang out in this weird area over here. This is also like a look dog zone too, so it's kind of just like a chaotic zone wherever you go here. But you know what? The camera, it might go to the next thing. The GoPro makes it a new. Let me see. New one. Oh, the camera died. Let's watch me. Okay, well, real quick, let's watch me talk about the Machadocado 5.8 for a sec. See what I say here. I don't remember what I said. Oh, yeah, they didn't have the neutrino. That's what I wanted, but then so 5'8" Machadocado, here she is. Hey, for some reason, hold on. For some reason, it's not showing right now. It's showing this thing. Hold on one sec. There we go. And now my true love, the Machadocado. So there, look, this thing has, look at that. So we have the KS endorphins in here, which this board is supposed to have the Rob's 2+1. But like these, if you haven't tried these KS endorphin fins, like the twins in particular, there's something about them. Like they have quickly become. It's funny because they're almost like opposite NVS material, which NVS, like I love that material the most. These kind of go a different route and they're like super light. So they almost you almost think they'd be like kind of squirrely or something, but somehow this template Kelly made is just a really nice template. It's almost like kind of like the Power Twin, but it has more space here. And it's actually like not that refined. It's almost like a big block of a fin. Um, but then the magic with the 2+1 with this setup is like this bigger one. There's actually like a little nub too, which I don't. It's almost so small. It's doesn't really do much. But this back trailer is sick. So this fin setup with the Machadocado, definitely try it out if you haven't yet, because I for sure preferred it. I mean, I hadn't ridden Rob's 2+1 in this size, but right away it like felt really amazing, and I don't see any reason why I'd have to get it. But thank you, lots of hearts and hundreds of thank you, y'all. Let's hear what I have to say. All right, we're out there. Let's see if I can track down any clips. And again, so this really quick. Let's go on a quick Hyperfreak rant. So we're in the Hyperfreak here. As you can see, so the Fire has the fluid seam welds, and it has them over the whole like thing. So the inside cuffs of the Hyperfreak Fires don't even have like the little lines that the Hyperfreak TB3 has, because the fluid seam weld is so strong that it ends up holding the suit together a lot better. But what that means is that it causes more restriction in the suit as well, because it is holding it more. So it's holding the suit intact more. So it actually is going to be a little less flexible. So again, I was glad I finally wore one of these, because I had always just went off my blueprint experience. But I'm talking to literally talking to the O'Neill guy at the tent, who I'm assuming he invented these newer Hyperfreaks, the way he was speaking about them, and how the blueprint was somewhat of a kind of a failure. Like he was saying how he was going for something and it kind of didn't really. This ended up being too heavy, which I agree. It was a very heavy suit. I still have my one that has the smooth skin, and yeah, it's just like way too heavy. But it is warm. It is warm. But yeah, so Hyper Freaks, I gotta shout out the guy who told me the Revo Max was really amping up, what's it called? Ferrule and just the Yamamoto rubber. And I still haven't tried one of those, but I want to try one. But like at the end of the day, for me, the TB3 Hyperfreaks work, and I'm kind of in this lane these days. It ain't broke, don't fix it. So for now, I'm gonna stick with it. And then when I have the chance to try a Ferrule or try the Yamamoto, I'm happy to try it. But I don't think I'm ready to purchase that because um I'm just a fanboy. I'm the TB3 fanboy, and I'll take it to my grave. But let's see if we can find any quick Machadocado clips. Because no, Mr. Siegel, what the little guy got my shot. It's kind of funny. Where'd he go? There he is. Let's watch Mr. Siegel real quick. That was cool. All right, let's see. Where am I? This day is more of a Machadocado wave as well. I mean, this is what I grew up serving. So you want like a fishy, slidey, grovelly board. Mid-lengths almost want a little more wave. This today isn't the best mid-length day. Oh, is that me? That's me. See, I'm already this is my first wave, I think. I mean, I'm riding a shin high wave. Who even knows how big that is? But what a great first wave, the Machado Kado. The 5.8 felt really great. I mean, it's yeah, Kit says silly Mr. Siegel, I agree. Like again, if I could wave a magic wand, I would take the 5.9 POS mashup, take this, and I would take this 5.8 Machadocado or the 5.9 Machadocado in a heartbeat. Because at first I thought maybe the 5.8 was gonna still feel like the 5.10 in terms of like it might have been the fins too, but like it still have that a little more of the hole, but it almost felt like a twin fin. And it felt heaps more skimboardy, but not as tic-tacky at all. Um, a lot more. This board is pretty much the 5.9 mashup in terms of like the volume and the equal and the distribution of the board outline and stuff. Of even though this board is wider and stuff, the mashup won't ride this wave as good, like for sure. But this board rode it really good, and right away I was like, oh, like this is the board that I would like on this kind of wave. The mashup would actually need a better wave, kind of like the 3+3 board, where it probably would want a little better wave. Kit says I should try to find a waterproof camera, like a GoPro, something to strap to your shoulder or chest, like a POV would be sick. Well, for sure, I agree. Well, spoiler alert, this is actually a GoPro from the beach on a tripod. Um, I have many different hilarious filming setups. The GoPro in the water is sick, but it actually is kind of a pain in the butt to film with, and it's almost a nice B angle, but for like, even though this is like low resolution and like kind of crappy, we can actually kind of see what the board's doing. When you have the GoPro water cam, it ends up being like kind of a cool angle, but you're not really able to see anything. It's either you or looking out in front of you. And both of those shots don't really help in terms of showing what a board is performing like in terms of like specifics. But I do agree those shots are awesome and I'd like to get them. Um I have a mouth mount that I think is the best you put in your mouth. And I think that's the best setup, but like it's kind of a pain. You have to paddle with it. So you have to like hold the GoPro in your mouth while you're paddling. It ends up being like a little more of a production. So 9 out of 10, I always prefer to have the camera sitting on the beach filming me. It's way less of a hassle while filming. But I agree that angle in the water is nice to have. Like it's just so lively. The Machadocado is a very lively board. and this is just small enough but it still has enough volume for me. It performs really good. So in the end there, I'm like riding pretty much nothing. But what's funny is it doesn't feel like I'm being held back by it being smaller than the 510. Besides, paddling is a little less of an issue. Once you're up and riding, it almost has enough like that firewire kind of like helium get up and go that it wants to go as long as you can control it. See if we can find anything else. There was a lot of good surfers out there today too. I think I got another good one. A second here. Oh, that was sick. There's me. There we go. Oh, I blew it. I blew it. I really blew it that time. Let's keep an eye on me. I'm right there. In my zone. I know I got one more good rider left. How's it going? That guy got. This was a sick day because like there was just all the brands are at the parking lot, and you could try like all these different boards. So it's always good to go demo boards because the goal is to not regret $1,000 mistake. Because this is a good one. I mean, this is a teeny tiny crappy wave, and Machadocado is making the best of it. Again, Devin doesn't give up, never surrender. It's just a great shred stick. I can even show you guys really quick a quick walkthrough of the place. It's funny, does that pop up on the screen? Oh, it doesn't. That's funny. When I put some on that screen, it actually doesn't pop up, so I do this. Well, I'll show you a quick walkthrough through Demo Fest, where it was just really popping off all the brands. So like we had, and I'm gonna make a quick little vlog video of this too. This is a cool new brand, Narval. It's a Wetsuit brand, so I'm not really sure too much about them, but they had some cool looking styles and stuff. And we had Stuart in the house. Creatures of Leisure, The Coin, Rip Curl, Rusty. All the homies. All the homies. So I wanted to try one of the. Oh, I actually wanted to try the Almere Channel Islands Mike Feb fish, but unfortunately didn't have any in my size or any really available. So I was kind of bummed about that. But what are you gonna do? And it led to me trying the Harley Ingleby board. So we go Neil, Slada, Pizel. I want to try a Pizel, but only so many hours in the day. Is the Firewise? There's a Revo Max. There she is, right there. I spy the Revo Max. My favorite. Y'all be hating. Y'all be hating. Y'all be hating on the Revo Max. Don't know what you're missing. And there's Channel Islands, and look, here's the wall of Hyperfreaks. My dream. My dreams look like this. Just Hyperfreaks. I hope I feel bad. I was filming this girl changing. Sorry. Check in. And there's these. And look, Flow State was in the house. So shout out Flow State. They do all the filming at the parks and stuff now. They've actually kind of broadened their horizons a little bit. Now they have an app that's pretty cool. And shout out Maddie. He was helping set up this whole thing. So it's a 6 setup they have at these like actual events, and they have their app as well. Which the Flow State app, you can put your phone on like something on the beach and it'll literally follow you, and it's pretty sick. So I need to actually look into that because I'm still using my GoPro thingy. In the end though, it's always nice to have like the longer lens. Like whenever you have some super wide angle lens, only so much resolution that I can keep as it zooms in and out. Yeah, guys, we're at 2 hours. I've been yapping for 2 hours. If you can smash the like, hit subscribe again. If you haven't liked the stream, like the stream. Maybe comment in the actual comment area below after the stream's over. Much appreciated. We'll end here soon. Voice is going. But I'm glad I did this. I wanted to do a stream. We're missing a couple of key characters, unfortunately. I try to give a warning, but the boomers, they never know their notifications work. So Migsy and Mark, I'm calling you guys out. But hey, y'all's lost. We had fun with Kit, Brooke, all the homies are here, all the ladies. So you guys missed out. You blew it. And I'll show you one more thing. I want to show you the wall of Hyperfreaks. What is this thing? That's not really a good video. Oh, here they are. That's not a great video, actually. And I got to shout out again. Go check out Shred Show on the YouTubes. He's the OG, and like makes me it's unbelievable because when he says he likes watching my stuff, I'm just like, well, I wouldn't have even done this if you didn't pave the way. So Chris, thank you again for being the man, and just hope we can keep it going. So, well, guys, I think I've about rambled on long enough. We went over 2 hours. The boomers didn't show up. I'm kind of sad, but what are we gonna do? We survived. The camera died 2 times. The camera has never died like that, so I learned a valuable lesson. Don't turn on 4K streaming, unfortunately. I think with HDMI I can do it, but it didn't like it. The ZV-1 didn't like that at all. But it's okay because the looks amazing anyway. So it's the best camera ever made, ZV-1. And before we go, I guess let's just do a little bit of love in here. A little bit of love. Let's just appreciate her while we have her because she's here. I own her now. I mean, not that's kind of weird, but she's mine. There she is. 6'3", and she's so gorgeous, and obviously no track pad. I mean, come on, who do you guys think I am here? With no track pad, it's just amazing. So she's beautiful. No fins right now. I actually have that teeny ding I gotta fix. That's a reminder. Look, fixed ding, screw fins in. So she's beautiful. This will be buried in my grave with me. I can never get over how it feels. It's so light. The rails are amazing. The rails are like nice and thin. Feel really nice. Love it. She's my baby. So Kit, Brooke, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Definitely check out the channel more and go get a foam board from your local surf shop. Y'all are awesome. And we did it. Another one in the books, guys. So till next time, we out of here. Peace. Thank you, everyone.